I want to first thank all of the candidates, all five of the candidates who are here this evening, because I worked with different candidates before. I know how hard it is on the campaign trail. I know how much your time means to you. So to be here this evening to address the things and what you're addressing, thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for coming out to let the people get a chance to meet you, get a chance to see what you stand for, and get a chance to do things for, as I say, for the betterment of Baton Rouge. As stated, this is, before we get started, there are some simple dates that I want to make sure that we cover. This form, as stated, is here for two positions. Remember, there's the Baton Rouge City Court, which covers misdemeanor matters and small matters in the inner city of Baton Rouge, and then there's the 19th, which is more of a parish jurisdictional court, which covers some of the bigger things. I will get to more of a definition when we get to those matters. Some other important dates to remember. If you're not registered to vote, or if you have friends, family members, people you know who are not registered to vote, the deadline to register to vote in person by mail or at the OMV office is September 10th. We know today is September the 2nd, so that means we've got 8 days. Anybody you know not registered, please get them registered to vote. There's also a deadline to register to vote through the Go Vote online registration system, and that is a different date. That is September the 20th. So you have a little bit more time. If you're not familiar with the Go Vote, that's spelled GEAUX vote, one word, .com, that may be more convenient for some people to try to get to. Once people are good and registered and ready to vote, we have to remember that early voting is through September the 27th through October the 4th. This excludes that Sunday the 28th. The courts are not open on the 28th. I always encourage people, if they can, to try to go early vote. I always send my mother to go early vote, because you never know what's going to happen on that day of voting. This, I tell people all the time, the polls are open from 8:30 to 6 p.m. I want to make sure I had the time every day. And you can pick your voting place, you can pick where you want to go, and you can pick what time you go and vote, and you can do that and have it out the way. That in case on voting day, if a family emergency come up, car trouble, things of that nature, you already have it out the way, but your voice will be heard, and your voice is very important in every race that we have. The deadline to request an absentee ballot is October 7th by 4:30 p.m. This is and the deadline for a register of voters to receive the voted absentee ballot is October the 10th by 4:30 p.m. Of course, this excludes anybody that's in the military or overseas, things of that nature. Our election day, the most important day, will be October the 11th. October the 11th, 2025 is the election day, and the polls are to remain open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And as long as you're in line by 8 p.m., you're supposed to have the opportunity to be able to cast your vote. As Reverend Anderson stated earlier, this is a form, which means it's basically a question answer type thing. We're going to have a short form where I'm going to, after I let the candidates both introduce themselves, I'm going to be asking direct questions to both of the candidates. They will give short, brief answers to those, and then after I ask the questions I have, we'll go through the audience and we'll give the audience a chance to ask any question or anything which may be pressing or which may be important or which I may have missed. The questions that I have are not Fletcher-Bell questions. They're questions which were taken from voting constituents, questions which were either mailed in, brought in, or sent to Reverend Anderson. And so we have those questions here. Before we get started, I want to give a special thanks out to Bayou Progressive for making this event possible and happen. They're concerned about which direction we're taking things which are important to us. So I want to give Bayou Progressive their proper thanks. Okay, now we're going to get down to the business at hand. We know we're going to start, as I say, with the Baton Rouge City Court. We know the City Court is a small municipal court. It was created in the in 1900 by Louisiana Revised Statute 13:2071, which means nothing to a lot of y'all. It's the extended plan of government. This court handles basically, it handles both misdemeanor criminal and civil claims. The civil claims are things such as personal injury, evictions, contract disputes, landlord-tenant cases. And these cases can go up to a jurisdictional amount or amount they can ask for up to $35,000. There's also within the Baton Rouge City Court a small claims court. Small claims court is less formal. A lot of people file these small claims themselves. You do not necessarily need an attorney, but this amount is case value of $5,000 or less, but that is handled within the Baton Rouge City Court. The court, as I stated, the misdemeanors are usually offenders, fines punishable, fines up to $1,000 and jail sentences for each case up to 6 months incarceration. All fines, costs, and forfeitures levied by the judges are collected by the clerk's office and deposited into our city parish general fund. As stated, there's 5 judicial seats at the city court. There's at this moment 1 vacancy, 2A, and the 2 people here we're going to meet and get to know a little bit better. First, we have attorney Calli Boudreaux, and then we have attorney Brenden. I'm going to give each candidate 2 minutes just to let you guys know who they are, let them know a little bit about themselves. This is Louisiana. We still Southern hospitality. We're going to go with ladies first. Ladies first, Ms. Calli Boudreaux, 2 minutes. Floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Calli Boudreaux. Reverend, thank you for having us here tonight. I love to see a room full of people that care enough about their vote that they came here to get educated on both of us as candidates. So it means a lot to me to have a full room tonight for y'all to learn a little bit more about us. So without further ado, I grew up in Napoleonville, Louisiana. I am the daughter of a small business owner. My father owned an Ace hardware store for 49 years before retiring just a few years ago. So I learned the value of community and hard work from a young age through him. I moved to Baton Rouge 25 years ago to go to LSU for undergrad, graduated with a business degree from the business college there at LSU, and went straight from undergrad to law school at the Paula Mayberry Law Center on LSU's campus. As soon as I graduated from law school, I started with my law firm that I'm with now. I've been with my law firm for 18 years now, and I've been a partner for about 15 of those years. So we handle high complex medical malpractice cases. I represent hospitals and physicians all over the state. I know y'all have done a lot of work also with some state physicians and issues that you may have had with those. I also am a special assistant attorney general representing the state in their complex medical malpractice cases. So a highly complex legal background. I'm ready to kind of take that experience and bring it over to the city court. And aside from my day-to-day job, I'm very involved in our community and always have been so. I'm an active CASA volunteer, which you're going to hear probably a lot about my experience with that tonight, as well as working with the local animal shelter here, CAA. I'm on their board that puts on the Fur Ball event, which raises money for the shelter every year. I'm also involved in the Rocket Kids Foundation. It is a foundation that encourages activity in youth. I serve as the MC for almost all of our races that we have with that Rocket Kids Foundation. Community has always been a very big part of who I am as a person, and I think kind of gives me a unique perspective. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people in this community over the we've been going now for 6 months for this campaign, since April. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people and to get an idea, because it's one thing when you meet with attorneys and you see what they want out of their own courts that they're in front of, but it's a whole different scenario when you're talking to community members and of all walks of life and want to know what they want to see from a judge. And so I'm excited about putting all that to use in October and being your next city court judge. No, we're going to have some questions, but I'll go ahead and not waste any more time of anybody's and sit back down for now. Thank you all.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brenden Craig. I'd like to echo Ms. Boudreaux's sentiments. Ms. Anderson, or Reverend Anderson, thank you very much for organizing this tonight. I'm from Baton Rouge. Went to LSU undergrad. Played guitar for the jazz band there, went to LSU Law School after that, and then been a criminal defense attorney ever since. When I was in law school, I clerked for a criminal defense attorney in town. His name is Jim Boren. Then I went out of law school and went to work for Jamie Rothkam and then Jared Ambo for a little while, and then hung on my own shingle in around 2014-ish. I've done 99% of my work has been criminal defense work. I cut my teeth as a lawyer in city court. I had both my first civil trials and criminal trials in city court. I have a beautiful wife, Kristen, 3 lovely children. Our oldest just started at Catholic High this year, which saddened me because the St. Aloysius tuition was a lot better than Catholic High tuition. But there he is. Nonetheless, one of the things I really want to do in city court, and we can get to it, is we do have a very large bench warrant problem in city court. If I'm elected, I would certainly like to do my part in reducing that amount of bench warrants, and I want to have what I would call an open doors policy, a very welcoming courtroom. And also, I guess it's kind of a free ice cream Friday campaign point. I want to let people bring their phones into city court. If I have 1 of 5 votes to do that, you go into city court and you're just bored. If you don't have your phone, you're just bored. District court gets to do it. I don't know why city court can't do it. It shouldn't be an issue. Any other questions? I look forward to them. Thank you.
I want to thank both candidates for their opening remarks. As stated, this is the moderated session. This is when I will be asking the direct questions. And there's going to be I'm going to ask you to limit your response to 1 minute if possible, and to keep everybody, if you could just speak loud when I ask a question, you can help. I want to be
Boudreaux don't normally have a problem being loud, so I got you covered.
I just want to be respectful of everyone's time. So the first question is going to be, and I'm going to start with you this time, Attorney Craig. One of the big things, as I say, I grew up here in Baton Rouge. One of the big things I hate is blight. And now that you're running for office, and once you get your yard signs out and everything, can we ask you, or can we get a commitment from you that you, after the election, will remove your signage within 30 days?
Well, yes, actually. I have a cousin I do a lot of work with. My office is literally across the hall from his.
Okay.
His name's Rufus Craig, and he used to be the chair of the Libertarian Party in Louisiana, and he's run for Congress several times, knowing he would lose, but he's a glutton for punishment. But nonetheless, he keeps putting it in my ear. The day after the election, win or lose, you got to go take all those down. I said, all right.
Okay.
I'll do it. Maybe 2 days, but yes, they will be gone within a week, no longer than that.
Okay, thank you for that response. Attorney Boudreaux,
I'm proud to tell you I have an actual plan for this. My father, as I mentioned, was the owner of an Ace Hardware store for 49 years, so he has taken great pride in putting up my very large signs, and he has a plan on the Sunday or Monday after the election to go take those down. But on another note, I met with Miss Jennifer Richardson at Keep Tiger Town Beautiful a few weeks ago, and the amazing things that she's doing for the blight in this community, and I made a promise to her to her face that I would also have all of my signs down, so that's something I'm going to keep to her as well.
Okay, thank you for that response. My next question is going to be about perception and perception of city court. This has been since back when I was working there. We know that the city court and a lot of courts are perceived as income driven courts, and it's more about income than it is about actual justice to the individuals. Can you speak to whether you believe this impression is accurate, and if not, how do you define the role of the city court? I'm starting with you, Ms. Boudreaux, Attorney Boudreaux.
Well, I don't want to speak for anyone other than myself and my own plans here. No comment on currently what may be going on, but I can tell you what I'm going to do is that's going to be to listen to people. I take great pride in anytime I sit down in any case with any witness or any person that I'm coming in contact with, I want to hear from them. I don't want this to be, just another check in the box. You're coming in, you're coming out. You're just another person on my docket. I want to hear your story. I want to listen to you. Then I'm going to look at the law and look at the facts and make my decision from there.
Thank you, Attorney Boudreaux. Attorney Craig.
Well, I've represented hundreds of people in city court over the years, and there will be people out there that would tell you that I've told them that city court is a revenue generator for the city. So I won't deny that. However, what I would like to do, I don't want to focus so much on revenue generation. One thing that I would like to do is be able to push the option. If somebody's found, and by the way, Mr. Bell, one of the things you failed to mention in your introduction about city court, what it does, the biggest thing is traffic tickets,
Yes.
right? So, so I would like to be able to offer as an option, and they already do, but I really would like to be able to push it, is offer somebody community service. The city doesn't get a dime out of that, but it helps our community overall. And so I would certainly like, yes, there are certain days I would, yes, consider city court a moneymaker. Others not so much, but I would certainly like to offer community service as an option and try to push that.
Okay, thank you for the response. Staying with you, Attorney Craig. We know that East Baton Rouge is becoming more diverse, and we know that this diversity not only includes different individuals with different languages, but it also includes people with disability challenges, things of that nature. I want to ask you, do you speak any other language other than English, including sign language? And if not, how do you plan to address the people who come to your court who may be facing some of those challenges?
I wish I did speak another language. However, I mentioned I played guitar in the jazz band for LSU.
Yes, sir.
Somehow that got me foreign language credit as an undergrad. So I only had to take one semester of foreign language. I took Spanish my last year. So no, I would not be able to speak fluently to a defendant and that's in the courtroom, or plaintiff for that matter, in a civil matter that does not speak fluent English or is deaf. However, we do have, the court system does have a system set up where we have interpreters that work for the court, and they come in and then they can, they get sworn in and they swear to give a truthful interpretation of the court's message and then the defendant or plaintiff's message. So, that's something I would kind of like to keep going that way. If it becomes a problem, I can maybe come up with some solutions to it as well.
Thank you, Attorney Craig. Attorney Boudreaux?
Yes, I do not speak any foreign languages as well. I would be open to any suggestions that folks have on moving forward with that, but I think that we do have a system in place to address that at the time, so.
Okay. So you support that system?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, gonna stay with your Attorney Boudreaux. In your role as, you would be the newest, if elected, you would be the newest judge. So in your role as the most junior member of the court, what can you do to make access to the court better for the average citizens coming to court?
Make access to the court?
Access to the court system.
Okay, I think that's probably one of my strongest suits. I think anyone would say I'm as accessible as they come. I'm an open door. I want to meet with you. I've already met with many folks that practice regularly in city court, and I've asked them point blank, what do you not like about it? I want it to be accessible to the lawyers. I want it to be accessible to the folks that are coming in day to day. So that would be one of my plans. Again, just listening to folks and getting ideas from them on what they want to see. This is why I love this here tonight, to know what people want to see from us. So.
When you say listen to folks, do you mean like have like a town hall or
Yes,
open forum?
these types of things here. I'm always open to have these types of conversations with folks. So.
Thank you, Attorney Boudreaux. Attorney Craig?
I do like that question. So essentially, I mentioned we have a lot of bench warrants in city court right now. One of the things to make my court more accessible, I would like to have an open doors policy, is in a very welcoming courtroom. And I apologize if I go over to a minute, that'd be all right. But it's the vast majority of the docket criminal in city court is from traffic tickets, the vast majority. And a lot of times people get stuck with a expired inspection sticker, improper display of the plate, expired registration, and so then they get a ticket, and a lot of times those people can't afford to pay that ticket, so they don't go to court. They get a bench warrant. And then they might get another one. So now they have 2 bench warrants and 2 fines they can't afford to pay. What I would like to do, and it's similar to the way I run my criminal practice. As a criminal defense attorney, we charge flat fees. So what I would like to do is, and I tell people when they come in, this is the total fee, this is what I need up front, you pay the balance monthly. If you can't afford to pay it 1 month, that's okay, just come in and talk to me about it, let me know. I'll work with you, okay? I don't want you to have to choose between paying your electric bill and paying your attorney. Go pay your electric bill. I would have the same energy as a judge. I don't want you to choose between paying your electric bill and then paying your fine. Go pay your electric bill, just let me know that you have to do that, and then I'll work with you, okay? A lot of times, people are scared to go to city court because they can't afford to pay it. And I don't want that to be the case. Again, I mentioned community service. If you want community service to do, instead of paying the fine, you get $15 an hour at your job, I'll offer you $30 an hour credit community service. That way, it saves you money in the long run. So, I want to have a welcoming, open door policy. I want to make sure people know in small claims court that the rules of evidence are relaxed. You don't have to worry about having a lawyer if it's a small claim. And so, yeah, it's okay to come in. Don't be scared. You're not going to have a problem with me as long as you show up.
Okay, thank you for that response. We know, I'm going to stick with you, Attorney Craig. We know that there are laws set by our legislative body or in city courts, sometimes by our city council members, and things that sometimes tie your hand or lead you to positions where you have to abide, of course, and follow it. Do you think, as a judge, that you will have any type of role to play in providing guidance or some type of statements sometimes to the legislative branches or to the people making the laws as far as helping the court system run more fluid?
That's an interesting philosophical question as the interaction of the role of the judiciary and the legislative branch. I certainly think if legislators want the judiciary's input, yeah, you might be able to talk about basic stuff. But you always got to be careful not to opine on matters that might come before you, right? And I always say, yes, there are certain laws that, you might not agree with. I think what makes the best judge is a judge that rules in a way he or she does not want to, but because they have to, because that's what the law is, and that's what a judge's job is to do, is to follow the law.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Craig. Attorney Boudreaux?
Yeah, I think it's an important thing to have open lines of communication between the judiciary and the legislature. They need us for things, we need them for things, we need guidance from them, they need guidance from us. So I definitely support, having that open line of communication with them to the extent that it is legally allowed. So,
Thank you, and thank you for that response. Next question, I'm start with you again, Attorney Boudreaux. We know our refugee and immigrant populations are we just came out in 2024, I think was the last 287G agreement, but we know that because of federal and state laws, and there's more of a push on immigration and against that community and things of that nature. And we know that as part of the process, we're not seeing it. Sometimes there's questions about Sixth Amendment rights and due process rights of the individuals who are being affected. So my question to you, what do you believe the role of courts are in protecting due process and ensuring that this community is not inundated with illegal activities?
yeah, I mean, this due process is at its core one of the foundational issues that you need to look at. I do know that there is a very delicate time right now. I've seen it with CASA. I've seen it with my work there. I'm very aware of that. I'm very attuned to that. I know that there will be issues that I need to address and discuss, and I will address those as they come up in what I think is the most fair manner in which those can be addressed. So.
Thank you, Attorney Boudreaux. Attorney Craig?
Well, I mentioned how I'd like to reduce the amount of bench warrants that are in city court.
Yes, sir.
One thing that, unfortunately, with our immigrant community is with what's going on, there's going to be a lot more bench warrants from the immigrant community at the moment. And that's, I've seen it time and time again. You have a Hispanic American or a Hispanic American person in there that they're sitting there talking to a prosecutor about a traffic ticket, and the prosecutor is telling them, look, I don't care about your immigration status, we just want to work on the ticket, okay? I wish I'd be able to get that across, because if you're an immigrant, illegally or otherwise, you're in my courtroom, that has nothing to do with the court, okay? We're just here for wherever you're here. So, I would absolutely, it's a tough thing what's going on right now, but, I wish I would be able to get that message across to the immigrant community that even I'm not going to report them to ICE when they're in my court.
Okay, and this is going to be my last question, moderator, so in the audience, if you have questions, please get ready to ask your questions. But I'm going to start with you, Attorney Craig, and I'm going to ask you simply, what is the most important change you think needs to be made to the Baton Rouge City Court to make it operate efficiently, not for the attorneys, but for the citizens of this parish?
Well, one of them, I'm half joking and half serious when I say this, is I do think city courts should allow phones. Because that gets people in the courtroom. It makes it more efficient. And it does, it kind of helps with the attorneys, because I've had to call my clients, they're not answering, and I don't know, are they in court? Or, couldn't bring their phone in, or are they just not answering the phone? So there is that aspect, but I do think that would help the efficiency aspect to it. Additionally, you could probably spread the docket out a little bit more, because it's you're aware of how heavy the docket is. You might be able to spread it out a little bit more, maybe do a few more cases on Fridays. I hate going to court as an attorney on Fridays, but from a judge, I don't mind doing it. There's, so you go in, if you're a defendant, you go in, you get your notice, you have your case go up, and then you're told to sit back down. And you sit there for however long it takes for the minute clerks to put in the information, and then you get your green sheet, okay, so you sign, and that's your notice. I've never liked that aspect of it. In courts all across the rest of the state, I've been to, it's never been like that. You get your notice as soon as your case is done, you walk out with your notice. I think we can improve upon that. The system they have for the case tracking, there needs to be improvement on that. After I qualified, a week or so after that, I went down to records in the basement of City Court, because I just wanted to see, because I wanted to go put it as a campaign point. This is how many people I've been counsel of record on, how many cases I've been counsel of record on, right? And they couldn't tell. Because they got a new system in November, and it hasn't been updated yet. So that's an issue. But yeah, there's lots of things. I'm sure I'll see some more in the future from behind the scenes, not as a voice. So.
Thank you, Attorney Craig. Attorney Boudreaux?
I'll leave with this on that. I've made my career off of representing physicians whose time is very valuable. I don't like to waste people's time. I know your time tonight is valuable. So that will be a number one priority for me in my courtroom. My courtroom will be run like a tight ship, because my time's important, your time's important. I want you to be seen, be heard, but also we need to keep going. The second thing I can just say to speak to my character on this, as part of Furball, as part of Rocket Chicks, I'm in charge of putting on very large events in this city often. That takes a lot of hard work and a lot of organization. My courtroom will be run the same way as those events are run. I have a lot of experience in that area, and I'm ready to kind of move that experience over to the city court. So, thanks.
Okay. Well, I want to thank both of y'all for answering my questions. This is now the time for the community. If there's any questions out there, please raise your hand and be acknowledged. I'm going to ask that you keep the questions, please, as brief as possible. And if it's for one specific attorney, let us know. If not, then we'll consider it for both attorneys. We'll let both attorneys answer. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask a two-part question to both candidates.
Okay.
Number one, other than your education, what is your why for running? And on the range of 1 to 5, how much does that why influence decisions?
Her question was a bifurcated two-part question. The first part being, other than education, what is the why or the reason that they're sitting here tonight running? And the second thing, from 1 to 5, how important is the why?
How much does the why influence?
How much does the why influence your decision to be here tonight? Who want to go first?
I'll take it first.
Yes, ma'am.
So the joke of this campaign has been I came home in 6th grade and told my mother I wanted to be a judge, and she told me I had to be a lawyer first. So this has been a lifelong goal of mine. I have not denied that throughout this campaign. But I can tell you what changed for me. I started working with CASA, and I saw what can happen when the system fails a child, and that system ends up in every other parts of this system, and that I realized through my training, because the training was very, very heavy. If anyone isn't familiar with CASA, we are the court-appointed special advocates. Not anything to do with my lawyer job. It's strictly a volunteer job for foster children throughout the city. We each get assigned one case. And the idea behind that is that we're the one person that this is our only case that we're working with. You're dealing with parties from all different sides, but ultimately it's the best interest of the child that is my number one interest. But it really opened my eyes to the difference that can be made when you make a difference with just one person. I love to give the story of our executive director. She calls it a starfish theory. And the idea is there's a child at the beach and there's all these starfish in front of them, and the kid's taking one at a time and throwing it into the ocean. And somebody walks by him and says, "What are you doing? You're never going to save all of them." And he said, "Well, I saved this one, and it really matters to this one." So I've learned that the difference that you can make when you just start with one person. I can't save the city. I can't save the world. I can start saving one person at a time, and I know with this position in city court, I will be in a position to do that. And that is very, very, very important to me and how my city court will be run. So I put that at a 4 out of 5. There's a lot of things that I'm very serious about, and that's one of them. My work with CASA has really, really changed my life, honestly.
Thank you, Attorney. Attorney Craig?
So, as I mentioned, I've been a criminal defense attorney my entire career. I've helped a lot of people in that regard. The most rewarding part of that job is getting a hug from a mom or grandma after a case is finished, even if it's a bad result. I really like the good results. Hugs more, but you get the hugs from the bad results, and you're making a difference in people's lives. I've really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. However, I didn't mention my introductory speech, but my father was a lawyer. His father, he recently retired, but his dad was a lawyer, and his dad was a lawyer. We all went to LSU Law School, but none of them have ever been judges. And I love this city. I love the city of Baton Rouge tremendously. And I want to see, I figure the way I look at it is being a city court judge, you get to help people. Do your best to help as many possible people as you can every day. It's not just your 2 or 3 defendants that you have every day. It's as many people as you possibly can every day. And no, city court, we're not going to be in the newspapers more than likely, okay? You're not going to see our cases on WFB like you will the district court judges coming up. You're not going to see that. Because to the community at whole, they're not that important. But they are, and Ms. Boudreaux did echo this, is they are very, very important to each individual party. And if I can make the city of Baton Rouge just a little bit better, I think that's important. And yeah, it's 4.75, 4.8, 4.9 out of 5, maybe 5, I don't know. So it's why I'm here. It's why I'm here.
Thank you. Next question, Counsel.
Yes, so thank y'all for offering yourself public service first and foremost. Secondly, I'll give y'all Don Johnson comes to city council and tells us what we're going to do and how we're going to do it 1,000 times a year because he's vested. There are things that are under the purview of the city courts that can do the same. So 2-part question. Number 1, what laws will you work with the city council to help change that benefit the city of Baton Rouge? And number 2, how can the city courts affect public safety?
Great question. So one of the things about city court, and actually, I'm glad you brought this up. The code of ordinances, DWI statute, right? It doesn't track the state statute. About 10 years ago, and it's been that way for a while, I filed a motion of quash on DWI second offense in city court about 10 years ago. Because what that does is, DWI, you have a cleansing period. So if you get a DWI, let's say what's today, or September 2nd, 2025, there's a 10-year cleansing period. So if you don't get another one until September 2nd, 2035, then they can't charge you with a second on that one in 2035. Except in state court, you don't count times you're awaiting trial, times you're on probation, times you're in jail. The case has to be completely done before that 10 years starts, all right? The city ordinance, it's just commission to commission. It has not been updated to track the state statute. So I filed a motion to quash because I had a guy who had DWI second offense, and it was about 10 years and a month after the first one. So according according to the code, and they were billing them under the code of ordinances, so they had to follow that statute. So, one of the prosecutors said, well, Brenden, what do you want? I said, well, I just want a first. He said, all right, yeah. So, that's something that I think needs to be updated, because that does have a public safety issue as well.
I'm going to kind of curtail off of that and just go back to kind of what I was saying just now as far as affecting the public safety. One of the things I love about city court is that I think you have an opportunity to make a difference before the crimes become of the other court. So I've seen it with juvenile court. You know, you start off with a small juvenile matter, then you're in city court, now you're in district court. We have the opportunity to stop that before and get to the root of the problem. What's causing this? Is it substance abuse? Is it domestic violence issues? Is it some type of mental health issues? Let's try to get to the core of what the issue is and address that.
Okay. Is there any more questions from the audience?
Yes.
Yes.
This question is going to be from Ms. Boudreaux.
Yes, sir.
Assist a lot of citizens with applying for jobs, and many of them require a driver license.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we come to the issue of the bench warrants. They owe fees,
Yeah.
and they just can't get over that hump
Yep.
of taking care of that, so they can get a legitimate driver license and apply for that job. What you do to help?
Yeah, I'm
ease
open
that.
to, like I said, I want open forums. I want to talk to folks on how we make those sorts of issues better, and then let's work to make them better. So I'm definitely open to discussing, you know, what are our options, what can we legally do to assist that, and then what can actually physically be done. You know, there's a lot of, I can sit up here and spew to you 100 things that I'd love to do, but I know there's a lot of administrative issues that go into that, and I will be limited by that. So I don't want to make you a promise that I can't keep of something that I'm not sure that I can do, but I will assure you that I'll work hard to do whatever it is that I think the community is in favor of, so.
Do you mind if I respond to your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, yeah, you're right. I forgot to mention when I was discussing the consequences of getting a bench warrant traffic ticket. Yes, if you don't pay attention to the DMV, so your license gets suspended, right? And then it makes it harder to get car insurance. And then you say now you're uninsured on the road, and you're also driving a suspended license. And so it's a snowball effect. And then you got to go get your ticket taken care of at city court, bring it to the DMV. Now you're just losing more time, and it becomes much more expensive. And then if the fine gets sent to the Office of Debt Recovery, you can't pay the max $800, I think it is, in a day to have everything resolved. So it absolutely affects people. I want people to know that as a judge, just come into court on a traffic ticket. Just come into court. I can't force people in there. I can't go to their house, yank them in on their court day, okay? But I can let them know you don't have anything to be afraid of. If you can't pay it, come in and just tell me that. A lot of judges over the past have had the wrong mindset on it. They would say, okay, well, yeah, I mentioned, pay your light bill, we'll work on the fine. A lot of judges in the past have had the mindset of, oh, well, can Entergy put you in jail? No, that's the wrong way to do it. It's clearly the wrong way to do it, because we have 133,000 bench warrants in city court alone. So, I want to be the opposite of that. I can't force people in, but just come on in, I'll work with you.
Okay, you have a question?
I'm asking this question from an immigrant perspective. I'm an immigrant, has a background for traffic ticket. I'm coming to court. I'm worried about my immigration status and scared to come to court. How do the public know what's different in that particular situations like that in the country?
So, I spoke to that a little bit before, I think, but essentially, I mean, I can't run ads
Yeah.
that, I'll put it this way. If you come into my court and you're worried about your immigration status, okay, I'm not calling ICE on you, okay? That's not my job. You're here for, I'm gonna have you here for why you're supposed to be here, for the traffic ticket, period, okay? At the same time, if ICE is there and they have to take somebody away, I can't stop them. I'm not going to stop them, right? We've seen that in the news. But I'm not going to report you to ICE. Our docket's going to be long enough to get through. I want to get through the docket. I want to help people out. And I don't know how to advertise that other than speaking to people right now. But I mean, you understand it. So I can tell you, don't worry about that. Just come in and handle the traffic ticket.
Thank you, Attorney Craig. Attorney Boudreaux?
And I would just say, I've actually spoke with David Rosas. I'm sure you've probably seen his billboards. He's doing a lot of the immigration work around town. And I had a conversation with him about what does he expect of his clients when they would be coming through with our court, and to just try to work with everyone to try to come up with some type of middle ground on this issue. I know it's sticky, I know it's tough for everybody involved, but I'm willing to work and hear everybody's side of the story, and like a judge would do, just make a decision from there.
Okay, I want to thank everybody. As I said, I want to be mindful and respectful of your time. But before we close, I want to give each candidate 1 minute to just give a closing anything. We may have missed anything you may have wanted to add. I'm going to ask Attorney Craig, give you the podium, let you give your minute closing first.
Again, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. It was a pleasure to see all of you. So, like I said, I've done criminal defense for 16 years now. I've represented hundreds of people in city court. I've been there, gone through those doors thousands of times. I know the ins and outs of city court. I know how it can be better. I know it works. I know it doesn't. And I want to make it the best court it possibly can be for everybody in Baton Rouge. I want people to understand that you come into my court, you don't have anything to be afraid of. I want more licensed drivers on the road. I want less bench warrants in the city. I want safer streets for all of us. And pretty sure I know how to get it done as best I can and make a positive impact on the city of Baton Rouge as a city court judge. And I think I'm the best candidate to do that. Thank you.
Okay, Boudreaux.
Yeah, so actually, this brings up a story today. I actually had a crisis with my CASA kid today. It was pretty serious. And I had a conversation with my wife, and I said, I was the first person he called. And I said, I'm making a difference with one person. I want to do that with a courtroom full of people. And that's why I'm signing up for this. That's why I'm putting myself and my family through a public campaign, because I really, truly believe in that. And I really think that I can make a difference. I think my experience speaks for itself. I've argued in courtrooms all over the state. I've done jury trials all over the state. I have the legal background that it takes to get this job done, but I also have the heart. And I hope that you trust me with your vote in October. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you.